The observatory aboard the ISS Horizon buzzed with activity until a strange object appeared on their screens. Everyone fell quiet. Captain Jun Park moved closer to the main display, his face lit by its blue glow. "What is that?" he asked, squinting at the readings. Dr. Hannah Kim, who studied ancient alien artifacts, checked her data tablet again. "Captain, I can't believe these measurements. It's 3 kilometers long, maybe more." The massive ship floated silently in space. Its dark surface was covered with strange markings that seemed to move if you looked at them too long. The computer estimated it was millions of years old, older than any human civilization. Engineer Ta Li worked quickly at her station. "I'm not detecting any power sources. It seems completely inactive." Captain Park touched the communication panel. "Earth Command, this is ISS Horizon. We've discovered an unidentified vessel of enormous size. Requesting instructions." Earth Command responded immediately. They were sending Dr. Mina Choi, an expert in possible alien languages, to join their mission. She arrived 3 days later, eager to examine the mysterious ship. "Have you tried to enter it?" she asked, dropping her bag in the ready room. Captain Park shook his head. "We were waiting for you." The next morning, a small team prepared to visit the alien vessel. Captain Park led the mission with Dr. Kim, Engineer Lee, Security Officer Da Kang, and Dr. Choi. They boarded a small shuttle and approached the enormous ship. "Look at the size of it," whispered Dr. Kim as they got closer. The alien vessel dwarfed their shuttle like a whale next to a minnow. To their surprise, they found what looked like a docking area, and their shuttle connected easily, as if the ship had been designed for visitors. "Air readings are normal," said Engineer Lee, checking her equipment. "Oxygen levels are low but breathable." They stepped through the airlock, turning on their flashlights. The corridors inside were tall and wide, with walls covered in strange symbols that none of them recognized. "These markings appear everywhere," Dr. Kim said, recording video with her helmet camera. "They might be some form of writing." Dr. Choi ran her fingers along the etchings. "They're similar to logographic systems, where each symbol represents a concept rather than a sound." They explored deeper into the ship, finding rooms with what appeared to be control panels and dark screens. Nothing responded to their touch. "No power anywhere," Engineer Lee confirmed, checking her instruments. "This ship has been dead for a very long time." For hours, they examined different areas of the ship, finding more symbols but no way to activate any systems. Dr. Choi grew frustrated as she tried different methods to interact with what she believed was the main control room. "I've tried everything," she sighed, sitting down on the floor. "Physical input, different light wavelengths, even sound patterns." The team prepared to return to their shuttle when Dr. Choi remembered something. Her grandmother had taught her an ancient Latin saying that supposedly dated back thousands of years. On a whim, she spoke it aloud. "Lux in tenebris lucet." The effect was immediate. A vibration ran through the floor beneath them. Lights flickered on along the corridor walls, illuminating one section after another, stretching as far as they could see. A low humming sound filled the air. Panels that had seemed dead now glowed with soft light. Symbols on the walls began to pulse with color. Captain Park spun around. "What happened? What did you do?" Dr. Choi stood frozen, her eyes wide with shock. "I just spoke. I just said an old phrase my grandmother taught me." More systems activated around them. Screens lit up, displaying star charts and symbols. The air circulation improved, becoming fresher. "It responded to your voice," Security Officer Kang said, his hand moving to his weapon. "Just your voice." Engineer Lee checked her readings. "Power systems are coming online throughout the ship. It's waking up." Dr. Kim approached one of the glowing displays. "This technology shouldn't be responding after millions of years. It's impossible." "Not impossible," Dr. Choi said quietly. "Just beyond our understanding." The ship trembled again as more systems activated. Captain Park ordered everyone to stay close together. "Dr. Choi," he said, I think you'd better try speaking to it again." The ancient ship continued to wake up around them. More lights turned on along the walls. The strange symbols started to glow one by one, creating beautiful patterns that moved like waves. Dr. Choi watched carefully as the symbols changed when Captain Park spoke. Then they changed differently when Dr. Kim spoke. She noticed a pattern. "Wait, everyone be quiet for a moment," she said. The team fell silent, and the symbols dimmed slightly. "Now, Captain Park, say something." The captain looked confused, but followed her instructions. "This is Captain Jun Park of the ISS Horizon." Immediately, the symbols near him brightened and pulsed in rhythm with his words. "I think I understand," Dr. Choi said excitedly. "The ship is responding to our voices, to human speech. Look how the patterns match our words." Dr. Kim moved closer to examine the glowing symbols. "That's impossible. This ship is millions of years old. Humans didn't exist when it was built." "Unless," Dr. Choi said quietly, "the builders of this ship knew about Earth. Maybe they visited our planet long ago and heard our early ancestors speaking." Engineer Lee shook her head in amazement. "You mean this ship was programmed to recognize human voices?" "It's just a theory," Dr. Choi replied. "But it would explain why it responded to Latin, one of our ancient languages." Security Officer Kang remained alert, his hand never far from his weapon. "We should report this to Earth Command before going further." "Agreed," said Captain Park. "But first, let's see what else we can learn." The team continued deeper into the ship. The corridors widened as they walked, leading them toward what seemed to be the center of the vessel. The lights grew brighter ahead of them, guiding their path. Finally, they reached a massive circular chamber. As they stepped inside, the entire room illuminated. In the center floated what looked like a three-dimensional map of stars and planets. Engineer Lee gasped. "It's a star map." The holographic display showed thousands of glowing dots connected by lines of light. Some dots were brighter than others, and some of the connecting lines pulsed with energy. "Those must be star systems," Dr. Kim said, pointing at the brightest points. "And the lines, some kind of travel routes between them." "A network," Engineer Lee whispered in awe. "A galactic network connecting different worlds." Dr. Choi approached what appeared to be a control panel near the map. Unlike the other panels they'd seen, this one had a circular indentation in its center. "I think this is the main interface," she said. She placed her hand on the panel and spoke clearly. "Hello, we come from Earth." Suddenly, a beam of bright blue light shot from the ceiling, scanning Dr. Choi from head to toe. She froze, afraid to move. "Dr. Choi," Captain Park shouted, rushing toward her. "I'm okay," she said, though her voice trembled. "It doesn't hurt." The light vanished as quickly as it had appeared. Dr. Choi blinked several times, then her eyes widened in shock. "Something's happening," she whispered. "I'm seeing images, information." The others watched nervously as Dr. Choi stood motionless, her eyes moving rapidly as if watching something only she could see. "There are worlds, hundreds of them," she said slowly. "Species I've never imagined. Technologies beyond our understanding." Engineer Lee checked her scanner. "Her brain activity is off the charts. The ship is somehow transmitting data directly into her mind." After several minutes, the connection seemed to end. Dr. Choi took a deep breath and steadied herself against the panel. "Are you all right?" Dr. Kim asked, helping her to sit down. "Yes," Dr. Choi nodded. "It was overwhelming, but not painful. The ship, it shared so much with me." "What did you see?" Captain Park asked. "Fragments mostly. The ship's creators were travelers who studied developing worlds. They visited Earth many times during our evolution." She paused, collecting her thoughts. "And the ship told me its name." "Its name?" Security Officer Kang repeated. Dr. Choi nodded. "In their language, it translates roughly to Voyager of Dawn. It was built to travel between stars and observe developing life. The holographic map suddenly zoomed in on one particular star system. A blue dot pulsed brightly. "That's our solar system," Engineer Lee said, checking the coordinates. "Earth." The map then showed a path leading from Earth to another star system, much farther away. "I think," Dr. Choi said slowly, "it wants to show us something. Something important. Or take us somewhere," Captain Park added, his expression serious. The ship hummed more intensely now, as if awakening even further. In that moment, they all realized their discovery was just the beginning of something much larger, something that would change humanity forever. The next few days aboard the ancient vessel changed everything the crew thought they knew about human history. Dr. Choi spent hours connected to the ship's information systems, learning about its origins while the others explored further. The team gathered in what they now called the map room as Dr. Choi shared her discoveries. The ship was built by beings who called themselves the Guardians. She explained, her eyes bright with excitement. They existed millions of years ago, long before humans evolved on Earth. "What happened to them?" Captain Park asked. "They disappeared," Dr. Choi said. "The ship doesn't know why. It only knows they never returned to reactivate their vessels." Engineer Lee looked up from her tablet. "Vessels? There are more ships like this one." Dr. Choi nodded. "Many more, scattered throughout the galaxy. This type of ship had a special purpose. The Guardians called them seed ships." "Seed ships?" Dr. Kim repeated. "They were designed to carry life across the stars," Dr. Choi explained. "The Guardians visited thousands of planets, studying and sometimes changing the life they found there." Captain Park's expression darkened. "And Earth? Did they visit our world too?" Dr. Choi hesitated before answering. "Yes. Earth was special to them. They found early life forms there with unusual potential." "What are you saying?" Security Officer Kang asked. "The Guardians accelerated evolution on Earth," Dr. Choi said quietly. "They guided it in certain directions, especially with early humans." The room fell silent as everyone processed this information. "So we're some kind of experiment?" Dr. Kim finally asked. "Not exactly," Dr. Choi replied. "The ship describes it more as cultivation, like gardeners helping plants grow." The crew continued exploring the vast ship, mapping new sections each day. Security Officer Kang discovered a sealed door in a lower section that wouldn't open despite their efforts. "This is different from the other doors," he said, examining the unusual symbols around its frame. "I think it might lead to something important." He pressed his hand against what looked like a control panel. Suddenly, red lights flashed, and a high-pitched alarm sounded. Metal panels slid from the walls, revealing what looked like defensive weapons. "Get back," Captain Park shouted. Officer Kang barely escaped as energy beams fired at the spot where he had been standing. The defense systems powered down after a few seconds, but the door remained sealed. "Are you okay?" Dr. Kim asked, helping Kang to his feet. "Yes," he replied, looking shaken. "It didn't want me in there." Dr. Choi approached the door cautiously. "Let me try." "It's too dangerous," Captain Park warned. "I think it will respond differently to me," she insisted. "The ship has been sharing information with me. We have a connection." Carefully, Dr. Choi placed her hand on the same panel that had triggered the defenses. To everyone's surprise, the red lights turned blue. The door slid open silently. "How did you do that?" Officer Kang asked. "I'm not sure," Dr. Choi admitted. Inside, they found a laboratory filled with strange equipment. Engineer Lee carefully collected samples from various containers and analyzed them using her portable equipment. After several hours of testing, she looked up with a stunned expression. "You need to see this," she said, showing them her tablet screen. "I compared our DNA samples with biological materials from the ship." Dr. Kim leaned closer. "What are we looking at?" "This section here," Engineer Lee pointed to a highlighted pattern. "It appears in all our DNA samples, especially strongly in Dr. Choi's. And it matches genetic fragments I found in the ship's biological components." "What does that mean?" Captain Park asked. It means we share genetic markers with the Guardians, Engineer Lee explained. We carry some of their DNA. Dr. Choi sat down, overwhelmed by this revelation. That's why the ship responds to human voices, why it connected with me. We're related to its creators. As they spoke, they felt a subtle vibration through the floor. Throughout the vessel, systems were activating. Panels that had been dark for millions of years lit up. Machinery hummed as ancient repair systems began working. The ship is repairing itself, Engineer Lee said, checking her instruments. Power levels are increasing everywhere. It's preparing for something, Dr. Choi whispered. Through her mental connection with the ship, she sensed its growing anticipation. I think it's getting ready for a journey. Captain Park looked concerned. Where does it want to go? I don't know exactly, Dr. Choi replied. But I feel it has a purpose, something it was programmed to do if the Guardians never returned. They watched as the ancient vessel awakened further, systems coming online one by one. The legacy of the Guardians was stirring after millions of years of sleep, and humanity was about to discover its true place in the cosmos. The crew continued their work aboard the ancient vessel for 2 weeks, documenting their discoveries and learning more about the Guardians. Dr. Choi's connection with the ship grew stronger each day. She could now understand many of its systems without needing to study them. One morning, Captain Park received an urgent message from Earth Command. The mission has been compromised, he announced grimly to the assembled crew. Someone leaked information about our discovery. The news is spreading worldwide. How bad is it? Asked Dr. Kim. Bad enough, Captain Park replied. Every major nation wants access to this technology. Military vessels from 3 different countries are already heading our way. Engineer Lee checked the ship's sensors, which now functioned perfectly. Confirmed. I'm detecting 5 large vessels approaching. Estimated arrival in 8 hours. The crew debated what to do. Some argued they should welcome the military ships and share their findings. Others feared what might happen if powerful nations gained control of Guardian technology. 6 hours later, they received the first transmission from the approaching fleet. IS Horizon. This is Admiral Yoon of the United Earth Fleet, crackled a stern voice over the communication system. We've been authorized to secure the alien vessel you've discovered. Prepare to receive boarding parties. The vessel is now under our jurisdiction for security purposes. Captain Park responded immediately. Admiral, with all due respect, this ship contains knowledge that belongs to all humanity. We recommend forming an international scientific team. Your recommendation is noted, Captain. Admiral Yoon interrupted. But my orders come directly from the United Earth Council. Stand down and prepare for transfer of command. After ending the transmission, Captain Park faced his crew. We have a decision to make. Earth Command expects us to hand over the ship. They don't understand what they're dealing with, Dr. Choi argued. This technology is millions of years beyond ours. It could be dangerous in the wrong hands. As they debated, strange alert signals began flashing throughout the ship's corridors. Symbols pulsed red on every wall panel. What's happening? Captain Park demanded. Engineer Lee checked her instruments. Power levels are spiking everywhere. The ship is activating systems we haven't seen before. Dr. Choi closed her eyes, focusing on her connection with the ship. Images and feelings flooded her mind. It's afraid, she said, opening her eyes. The ship senses the military vessels as a threat. It's activating defensive protocols. Can you communicate with it? Tell it these are our people, Captain Park asked. Dr. Choi tried, concentrating on sending calming thoughts to the ship's consciousness. It doesn't fully understand. But I'm getting something else. The ship is preparing to leave. Leave? Leave where? Dr. Kim asked. The solar system, Dr. Choi replied. It's going to jump to another star system. I can see it in my mind. The destination is far beyond our explored space. Captain Park looked stunned. Can it really do that? Travel between stars? The Guardians had technology we can barely comprehend, Engineer Lee said. Based on the power readings I'm seeing, Yes, it's possible. The military vessels were now just 2 hours away. The ancient ship's engines hummed louder, vibrating through the entire structure. Captain Park made an announcement to the crew. Everyone must decide now. The ship appears to be preparing for interstellar travel. We don't know if we'll ever return to Earth. Anyone who wishes to leave should board our shuttle immediately. The next hour was filled with difficult goodbyes. Half the crew, including Captain Park, chose to return to Earth. I have family waiting for me, he explained to Dr. Choi as they said farewell. And someone needs to tell Earth what we've learned. I understand, she replied. But I have to stay. This is too important to walk away from. In the end, 6 crew members remained aboard. Dr. Choi, Dr. Kim, Engineer Lee, and 3 research specialists. The others departed on the shuttle, heading back to the ISS horizon. As the military vessels approached, the ancient ship's systems reached full power. The 6 humans gathered in the map room, watching as the holographic display showed their position in the solar system and a path leading to distant stars. Whatever happens, we're making history, Dr. Kim said, trying to sound brave. Dr. Choi felt the ship's intentions strengthening in her mind. It's starting. Everyone hold on to something. The military fleet was now visible through the viewing ports, huge ships advancing with clear purpose. The lead vessel launched smaller craft, boarding parties. Engineer Lee watched her instruments in amazement. The energy readings are off the scale. It's creating some kind of field around us. Outside, space itself seemed to warp and bend. The stars stretched like rubber bands. A bubble of distorted reality formed around the ancient vessel. The last thing they saw before everything changed was the military ships growing smaller, as if rapidly moving away, though it was they who were moving. Then, with a flash of brilliant light and a sensation like falling through endless space, the Guardian ship and its 6 human passengers vanished from the solar system, leaving behind only stunned military commanders and a mystery that would change human history forever. The journey through folded space lasted only moments for the crew, but the sight that greeted them when they emerged took their breath away. Stars unfamiliar to human eyes surrounded them. The ship had traveled an impossible distance in seconds. We've arrived. Somewhere, Engineer Lee said, checking the instruments. Based on star positions, we're at least 400 light-years from Earth. As their vision adjusted to the view outside, they saw an enormous structure floating in space. It looked like a giant ring orbiting a distant star, with spires and docking stations extending from its outer edge. It's a station of some kind, Dr. Kim whispered, built by the Guardians. Even more surprising were the other vessels docked at the station. Ships of different designs and sizes, some resembling their own Guardian vessel, others completely alien. We're not alone, Dr. Choi said, feeling the ship's excitement through their mental connection. The Voyager of Dawn recognizes those ships. They're siblings, other seed ships. Their vessel guided itself toward an empty docking port. As they secured themselves to the station, they prepared for first contact with whatever awaited them. Should we be armed? Asked one of the research specialists. No, Dr. Choi said firmly. The ship brought us here for a reason. These others were brought here too. We need to trust the process. They stepped through the airlock onto the station. The air was breathable, the gravity comfortable. The corridor ahead led to a large circular chamber where several groups of beings waited. None looked human. Some had scaled skin in vibrant colors. Others were tall with multiple arms. One species appeared almost plant-like with bark-textured skin and leaf-like hair. Despite their differences, all watched the humans with the same curious intelligence in their eyes. A tall being with smooth blue skin approached them. It held out a hand-like appendage in what seemed like a greeting. "Hello," Dr. Choi said carefully. The being tilted its head, then responded in a musical language none of them understood. But suddenly, a soft voice spoke in all their minds. Translation active. "Welcome, Earthborn. We have awaited your arrival." Dr. Kim stepped forward. You know about Earth. About humans? We know of all worlds seeded by the Guardians, came the reply. Each of us here represents a chosen world, a chosen species. Over the next few hours, they learned that representatives from 6 different planets had arrived at the station after their own Guardian ships awakened. Like humans, each species had been visited by the Guardians in their evolutionary past. Each had been guided along certain paths. We are all children of the Guardians, explained the blue-skinned being, who called itself Elon. Each species was granted specific gifts. What gift did humans receive? Engineer Lee asked. Your voices, Elon replied. Human speech patterns match the control frequencies of Guardian technology, and your social adaptability. You form communities across differences more easily than most species. While the others continued speaking with their new allies, Dr. Choi felt drawn to a central chamber in the station. There, a powerful mental connection opened between her and the station's ancient systems. The complete history of the Guardians flooded her mind. She saw their rise as a peaceful, curious species exploring the galaxy. She witnessed their discovery of a terrible threat from beyond the galaxy's edge, entities of pure energy that consumed all life they encountered. The Guardians had fought this enemy for thousands of years, eventually realizing they could not win. Instead, they created a plan for the future. They seeded promising worlds with life, guiding the evolution of species with complementary strengths. They built ships and stations that would awaken when the enemy returned, bringing their successor races together. Dr. Choi returned to the others, her face pale but determined. I know why we're here, she said. Why all of us were brought to this place. The representatives of all 6 species gathered to hear her explain. The Guardians didn't just leave us their ships and technology, Dr. Choi told them. They left us their legacy, and a warning. The enemy that drove them to extinction is returning. The awakening of our ships wasn't random. It was triggered by early detection systems at the edge of our galaxy. What can we do against a threat that defeated the Guardians? Asked a representative of the plant-like species. Fight together, Dr. Choi replied. The Guardians created us with different strengths that complement each other. Humans can operate their technology. Your species can navigate the space between stars. Others have different gifts. Together, we might succeed where the Guardians failed. In the days that followed, the alliance of 6 species prepared for the greatest challenge any of them had ever faced. The station activated ancient defense systems and communication networks reaching across the galaxy. 1 month after their arrival, Dr. Choi stood on the bridge of the Voyager of Dawn. The ship had transformed, becoming humanity's first true interstellar vessel. Under her command, it would lead a fleet back to Earth to prepare humanity for what was coming. She activated the communication system, sending a message that would take years to reach their home planet. To all people of Earth, we are not alone, and we are not without allies. The stars welcome home the children of the Guardians. The threat approaches that we must face together. Prepare for our return. Prepare for your destiny. As the message transmitted toward distant Earth, the fleet of Guardian vessels prepared to jump through space. Their journey was just beginning. The end.